Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. Today is Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. So I have really good news for you guys. I've been trying to line up someone to come onto the show and speak, someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to the Fed and currency and stuff like that. They finally are able to do so. I mentioned this before. They're going to be coming on next week, Thursday, we believe. We're trying to set it up now. I'll be putting out a post and all that stuff. His name is Sean Graham, and he is a financial advisor. He's actually in the process of starting his own business. He worked for one of the big names, but he's actually striking out on his own. His name is not official, of his business is not official yet, so I'm not gonna say that. But once I have word that yes, it's been approved, because there's a process you have to go through in order to get everything, signed, sealed, delivered, approved. Once that's done, I'll work up the post and get it out there, and everybody will be able to see that. He is of the opinion that going to a gold or silver or precious metals backed currency, rainbow currency has been referred to, would be a step backwards. So I'm very interested to hear what he has to say. Again, Thursday, we anticipate will be good. Not tomorrow, but next Thursday. That'll give him time. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Mary. Hey. So we're in the process of changing things around. I'm still trying to get my logo and get all that going. Yay. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. We're going to slowly transition everything over to Dion's Daily Dose. So if you could follow that, I'd appreciate it. You can drop the Dion for Congress if you want. I do post a few things. I'm going to tell you the reason that I haven't actually just completely shut it down or rebranded it yet is I'm waiting to hear a few things about some potential political things in the pipe. I said before, I'm not at liberty to speak on those just yet. It is nothing official right now. It is just some conversations that are being had. So if that pans out, I'm going to tell you all about it as soon as I can. In the meantime, though, I was looking to maybe cover at this point, right? An uninformed voter is looking at District 1 race. They're like, oh, wow, Petey stepped down. He's been our congressman for so many years. And I'm talking about people that haven't followed either campaign. They haven't been, they didn't follow the Democrats. They didn't follow the Republicans. They're just your standard swing voter, right? They're looking at the results. Oh, okay. So this guy, Frank Mr. Van, he won. And who's this guy, Leva? He won. Okay. Now, most of your swing voters are going to recognize the name Leva on their ballots from previous years. But what if they just moved to the area, or what if that name recognition doesn't carry for them? I figured it might be interesting to take a look at the online presence of each, what the standard uninformed voter is going to find out when they go, okay, it's getting close to the general election now. The primaries are decided, because let's face it, most people don't vote in the primaries. Now, while that is incredibly unfortunate, and I wish more people would vote in the primary, I think we're going to see a lot of people vote in the general election this year, for good or ill. you know, pro, against, whatever, whether it's for our president or whether it is for Dementia Joe. Either way, I think we're going to see a lot of people at the ballot this year. What are they going to find out when they go to look these people up? Let's start with let's start with Frank Mervan, right? So when you plug him in to Google, Paul, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Blaming the state laws. I will tell you that I personally am very frustrated about the low turnout during the primaries. But what are we going to do, right? So I'm going to say this before we get started on that. I'm going to say this. I actually heard a story today about one reason why some people don't vote in primaries, and this was actually a police officer, actually a conservation officer, but they do not vote in the primaries. Many of them don't, because to have a chance of being appointed to various positions in administrations, they have to appear neutral. So if you vote, for example, D, there's no way a Republican is going to appoint you to anything. Just like if you vote R, there's no way a Democrat's going to appoint you to anything. It is what it is. Yes, Paul, yeah, he says, I've heard and read many say that's why. I agree. We're just a standard vote in either one or whatever, and it didn't mark it, But on the other hand, and this is something that is important to keep in mind, at least for the Republican Party, how would we know who the Republicans are if they're not voting in the Republican primary? Many of the fundraisers, many of the biggest donors, yeah, that stuff's on record, but the people that you need to go out and knock doors, and it shows whether they're swing or hard R, etc. Oh yeah, and that's a good point, Paul. DNR do hold more power than a street cop by far. By far, they can actually seize your property and do all kinds of stuff. They wield a very great degree of power. So here we go. Let's get into this. So the first thing you do, most people don't realize that it's Junior, right? They just plug in Frank Mervan into their Google, and this is the first thing that pops up, right? MervanForCongress.com. And it's like, oh, wait, Democrat Frank Mervan is running for Congress in Indiana's 1st District for jobs, for health care, for us. Okay, I think that's the guy. But then you see this picture over here. It's interesting. It doesn't say Junior on this Frank Mervan thing. And over here, you see Indiana State Senate, right? And you got his dad. So it's like, oh, wow, is he really 87 years old? And you got to scroll down a little bit, but you'll find the pictures of the actual guy down here. Obviously, steelworkers for Mervan. It's a North Township trustee, etc. But here is Mervan's website. You click on that. Obviously, the first thing there, steelworkers, because let's be honest, man, that's going to be his biggest claim to fame. He's trying to follow in Visclosky's footsteps. He's going to try to pull that steelworker vote, or at the least the union, right? The unions are backing him. And of course, the unions that were backing a certain other candidate they're just going to turn around and endorse him. But let's look, right? It's a very professional website. They have the money, right? Look at it. Oh yeah, that's really nice. It looks good. And Pete Visclosky won this district over and over and over, endorsed by Congressman Pete Visclosky, the United Steelworkers, the American Federation of Teachers Indiana, and many other prominent leaders of Northwest Indiana. So, okay, we got Frank, and then meet Frank, right? I'm running for Congress because we need someone with a proven record of bringing people together. As an elected official, I didn't sit in an office. I took swift action to form alliances, secure funding, and new legislation that put Indiana families first. With your support, continue putting Indiana families first as your representative in Congress. For jobs, for healthcare, for us. And then, here's the issues. Look, of course, the first thing, responding to emergencies, growing the economy, advocating for the health of people. It's a good website. And then it's got his tweets. It's got his Facebook down here. And then, of course, the obligatory donate, which is actually, that you have a button up top. Okay. And then you can actually change, look at all the languages. That's impressive. That's impressive. Now, on the other hand, yeah, I would agree. Dave says Mervan needs some SEO work. I would agree with that. I personally, I think it popped up because I already have looked him up for obvious reasons. But on the other hand, you plug Mark Leva. Who's Mark Leva, right? First thing up, Mark Leva, U.S. Congress, District 1. Oh, yeah, I think this is the guy. Politician, okay. There's no picture here. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, about Mark, Ballotpedia. Okay. All right, so yeah, okay, this is the guy. Yep, down here, Democrat Frank Mervan, Republican Mark Leva to face off. Okay, so yeah, this is the guy. We click on his website, and okay, it's a guy. Whoa. And okay, all right, cool. So, all right, here's Mark Leva. So we scroll down, and we got about Mark, volunteer, and contact me. Okay. Strengthen American patents, America's natural resources. Oh, here we go. Education, healthcare, and criminal justice. Okay, I'm going to tell you, as an uninformed voter, personally, I'm telling you, most people don't care about the first two. Just my experience when talking to people, when I was trying to, and for what it's worth, I'm doing this to try to help Mark. I'm not bashing him. We're way past that. I'd love to see him win, for what it's worth. But most people, when they want to know what's the immediate, right? Me. That's what most voters care about. So let's look here. American patents. Yeah, we all know that's an issue, right? Especially with the Orwellian America. Or did he really use Orwellian? Okay, but whatever. So here's the thing. I absolutely agree that we need to secure American patents. It's a big deal, but does the average voter, is that their main concern? I personally don't think so. America's natural resources, agriculture, energy, and the environment. Okay. Let's see what he has for education, healthcare, and criminal justice. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So we are the party of independent individuals and the institutions is this just a copy of the GOP? Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to Frank. Let's take a look at, let's see. Let's see what he has for health, right? Okay, yeah, look, super simple, right? Frank is running for Congress to advocate for the health of people, including the most vulnerable in our society, the elderly, our children, and the veterans community. He has seen the challenges that face individuals and families who lack the resources to adequate health care. Okay. Thought for a minute. One of his main priorities as the representative for Indiana's 1st Congressional District will be to improve access to affordable healthcare options. His trustee office has represented and advocated on behalf of thousands of people who came into his office struggling to secure access to quality healthcare, pay their rent, keep the lights and heat on, and take care of basic family necessities. Frank knows firsthand the struggles of vulnerable individuals in our region, including the elderly who have been in need of assistance paying for prescription drugs, children who have been victims of sexual exploitation, and veterans who have been in need of mental health services. As Congressman, he will continue to be a trusted and dependable resource for all those in need. And then there's a little video about how he supports the teachers, probably. No More Secrets program. I've heard from many people that that's an amazing program, protecting our environment. Look at that. Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, hey, Sean, there he is. So this is the guy that is going to be here Thursday, and we're really looking forward to it. I know a few people have talked before about the Fed, the debt, all these things. I'm really excited to have that show. So yeah, Dave, and here's the thing. If that box about patents, right? If it said protect our patents from China, that's it. Just that. I think I'd go a long way, right? Everybody for the most part is familiar with China taking our stuff, intellectual properties, our patents, stuff like that. Condense that, man. Boom. Protect our patents from China. That's it. That's all you need. And unfortunately, Paul, I agree. If they look at the page, I mean, look at all this. Let's go back over here. People aren't going to read all this. They're just not. People are not going to go through and read all of this. My website isn't that long, and I've been told by people your website's too long. I didn't read it all. So I don't know. And this is just, I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. Yes, Dave, you're absolutely right. People only react to headlines. That's all they're going to look at. That's all they care about, and they're going to move on. I actually, I had stuff that was really short and concise, and then a couple of people were like, "Oh, your website doesn't say enough. I need, more information. Can you do this? Can you do that? What's your stance on this? What's your stance on that?" So I added a little, and then I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's too much," and then I put it back. I'm going to tell you, the vast majority of people, and polling reflects this, because they've asked people, how much do you read? What matters? What, is the difference here? And people in general have a very, very short attention span. They are not going to react to all that. They're not going to take the time to dig into all of the stuff that's written there. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot there. My personal recommendation: cut it down, make it concise. I just worry, because here's the thing, right? Here's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what the stances are. It doesn't matter that Mark Leva's pro-life, right? It doesn't matter that Frank Mervan is not. When you look at the two side by side, right, you're going to see, okay, okay, all right, right? It's very quick, very boom, very concise. That's what people want. So we can help. Right? We can tell him, look, man, you might want to think about this. You might want to think about that. But will it help? I don't know. I will tell you that if I did not know anything about the two different ones, right? Leva, Mervan, I would lean Mervan just based on the two websites, right? You look at Mervan's, wow, okay, all right, yeah, oh, well, he's done this. He was a trustee. Oh, okay. Yeah, he actually does, have experience in helping people. Okay. You don't really see that much on Mark. Let's go back to Mark and see what it says about learning about Mark, because Frank Mervan, his stuff is right there, right? But we click about Mark, and I don't know what he's doing there, but okay. Lifelong resident of Lake County, Indiana since 1959. Grew up in East Chicago, went to grade school, moved to Highland. Okay, his dad was a school teacher for over 35 years in East Chicago. That's impressive. Finished his career at West Side. My grandmother moved to my grandmother moved to East Chicago in 1923 from Mexico and remarried to my grandpa Roque. I have one son that is currently in the U.S. Army for 18 years. See, I didn't even know that. I am very proud of Staff Sergeant Mark Leva. So am I. Thank you for your service, Mark Leva's son. Yeah. I am currently self-employed as a carpenter. My previous employment prior to caretaking of my father before he passed was a steel worker, non-union home carpenter, and then a union carpenter from IL Local 434. And that's it. What is going? Whoa! Hey now, got some issues going on with my 14-year-old. Apparently, he is not taking being told to be quiet well. Okay, so Paul says he's been out past few months passing out food and supplies to hospitals and businesses. No Mark. Yeah, that's the other thing. Mervan was in the news, all over the news, because his job as trustee. He was out. He was helping people. He was helping people deal with the flood waters, getting them resources, getting people access to food banks and things like that. He has done a lot. Now, granted, how much of that was because he was a trustee and how much of that was because he was running for Congress, who knows? It doesn't matter. Ultimately, in the end, it doesn't matter because he has this huge resume compared to this is it. This is what we got. Let's click on About Frank and see what we have. So meet Frank. Mervan means families first. Now, if you remember, that's kind of a Republican stance, right? I'm running for Congress because we need someone with a proven record of bringing people together as an elected official. Yeah, we saw that before, and that's it, right? It's pretty short, but says here, lost their jobs, lost their homes to flooding, even their innocence. That was unacceptable for me. I took swift action to form alliances, secure funding, and new legislation that put Indiana families first. And then he says he's going to protect and advocate for veterans, seniors, and healthcare. Well, what's your healthcare stance, right? He doesn't really say, does he? But that doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't say what he wants to do for healthcare. It just says he wants to improve access to affordable healthcare options. He doesn't say what exactly he wants to do. I will tell you that he has gone on record saying that he is pro Green New Deal, which I find an interesting dichotomy, considering the USW endorsed him and the Green New Deal would definitively negatively affect the steel mills, right? That is a fact. Michelle, you are absolutely right. I do too. I hope that the things that he says on his website about wanting to help veterans is true because someone needs to. We need our elected officials to start caring about all veterans, those that are homeless, those that are injured, the VA. We need someone to get in there and actually do things. We need congressmen and women that are willing to step up and tackle the hard choices, go straight on into the hard issues. I hope that he does. I'm with you. I hope that he actually does help the veterans because, look, the Mervan name is very well known. It's very popular. People like him. He's a likable guy. I said from the beginning, if he wins, he's going to be hard to beat for anyone, for any of the first district candidates that would have made it. Mervan's the hardest one to beat. His dad's a sitting state senator. He was a North Township trustee. He helped people for a living. That's going to be hard to beat. Paul says, I believe Frank Sr. served. Maybe. Let's see. Let's put him back in here and see what we got. Let's take a look. If we click on this guy, let's see if it'll tell us about him. There. Put that. Let's see here. Honor with Service Before Self Award at Indiana Military and Veterans Legislative Day. Yeah, let's see here. It doesn't really give me, it doesn't really say, just Assistant Minority Caucus Chair, and you can view his legislation. So I don't know. Oh, here it is, biography. All right. Was on the Hammond City Council several years as council's president, elected to state senate. Hold, guys, I got to cut this short. I have an issue at home. By all means, take a look at this. If you want to know, I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless you and God bless the USA.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.